I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is The Community Show. I am blessed to have Kacey Morabito-Green on the show today. We are at the Pantry in Verpkanck, New York, at the Mount Carmel Society. We are blessed that the Mount Carmel Society allows Kacey to have the space to use as the food pantry. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, but first I'd like to talk about tradition and family and heritage and how important this area is to both of us. We both have been born and raised right here, right in beautiful Midtown Verpkanck. Mm-hmm. And thanks so much, Kacey, for coming on the show.
Thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
And, you know, I love the fact that, you know, we were raised here, yeah, and that we have a lot of pride and a lot of, you know, heritage. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my parents and your parents were great friends. Mm-hmm. And it feels good to carry on a legacy.
It sure does. I love it.
You know, tell us how important this place is to you.
You know, it's amazing. Victor and I grew up one street apart. You were on 7th, I was on 8th. We literally could walk to the houses of our birth right from here, yeah, in a matter of paces, right? Because yeah, this place was sort of right in the middle of us. Yeah. And my sister Maria was just saying yesterday, my mother's coming up on a big birthday, right? The family's talking about what to do to celebrate this birthday. And Maria said, you know, Mom was a nurse, but she was happiest when she had one of the Margiottas standing on the kitchen table and she was taking out their stitches. Remember that?
Yeah, I think she must. I had stitches like 5 different times.
And you guys would stand up on the table and she was either sewing you up or taking the stitches out, you know. So we go back since birth.
Yeah.
Since birth.
My favorite memory of your house is we were playing hide and go seek, mm-hmm, and I went into the closet under the stairs, and I went to lean back against the wall, and there was no wall.
Oh no!
And I landed flat on my back. And I'll never forget that. It was the funniest thing ever.
Was I playing with you?
I don't remember, but I think you were a little older because I was probably like,
oh, you had to bring that up. I'm a little older. You were playing with Maria. Older. Oh my gosh.
But now your dad was a member here for a long time.
So the Society of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, this beautiful lady right here, is an Italian-American social club that was started 1922. I think, or 1922, by a group of Italian-American immigrants who came here mainly from southern Italy, a town called Cittanova, Calabria, or from that area. So names we could mention, Fafaro, Capicati, mm-hmm, right? What are some other names, Ree? We've been, you know what, I am so tired and sweaty right now. We've been at the pantry all day, but a lot of wonderful names that are still in this town,
yes,
you know, started this club. So it would be my grandfather and my great uncles were part of it. And they started this club as in honor of Our Lady of Mount Carmel because that was the name of their parish in their hometown.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, which I actually got to visit, oh my God, about 20 years ago. So there was already a church in town, so they couldn't start a church, so they started this social club, and then they would have the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, third weekend in July, every third weekend in July for now almost 100 years, except they took a pause during some world wars. And now we're coming up on what should be the 98th feast or the 98th year of the club and the feast this summer, but you know, it will be a modified feast, obviously, with all that's going on in the world, right?
Well, you know, we talked about changing gears to just today. We're at the pantry now. We helped set up the food. We had a mini shoppers come in today to help the burden on Saturday when they come in. But the food truck was late.
Yeah.
So we had to change gears.
Yep.
And, you know, I think that's a big part of life.
It's a big part of life. So we have the pantry every Friday from 1 to 2, and then every Saturday morning from 8 to 10. The Friday 1 to 2 came during the pandemic because we would get a huge delivery from Feeding Westchester Friday morning. So we went from being a shopping pantry to a trunk delivery pantry when we had to start distancing. Mm-hmm. And then we were working so hard. The truck would come in, we'd bag everything up to put it in the trunks. up and down the stairs, up
Yeah.
and down the stairs. We said, let's just put it in the trunks on Friday if we can give ourselves a little break for Saturday. So and it's improv. Every week it's something different at the pantry. We've never had the truck arrive in the midst of a pantry, but it all worked out.
So let's backtrack to how many months have you been here now?
It was a year in January.
No way.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness. I didn't
It was a year in
realize.
January. So we're
Wow.
coming up a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't believe it either.
No. So tell us about how the idea started.
Okay, you want the full whole story?
No, let's have because we talked about it on the last show.
Okay.
So we'll have the condensed version.
Condensed version was, one day I was taking a walk, I was by myself, I looked up, it was a beautiful day, and I said, hi God, need me to do anything? The next thing I know, I walked in the house, I called my sister, I said, I think we should open a food pantry, what do you think? She says, I think that's a good idea. Now you all know Maria.
Yes.
She doesn't believe in my ideas to be good all of the time. But she said, that's a great idea. I reached out to Mount Carmel. Can we use your space? They were so generous. They were like, go ahead.
Yeah.
And if you tell me to go ahead, I will.
Yeah.
So I posted on Facebook, we'll have a Pack the Pantry. New Year's Day, people came and packed it. And Maria and I are looking at each other like, now what do we do? Because we really didn't know what to do. You know, it wasn't my idea.
Right.
So these 5 volunteers, they stayed and they fought with each other. They got very vocal. But you know what? Maria and I just kept dusting. They hammered it out. They said, we're going to put this here, we're going to put that there, and this is how we're going to do it. And we said, okay. And we opened our doors the next Saturday to 8 families, the first Saturday. Did it every other Saturday. So we did it 2 weeks later. We had 6 families. I'm like, man, we're going to have to pack this up and donate it to somebody else. Then it started to grow and started to grow.
Yeah.
We were balancing out at like 60 families every other week, and then the pandemic hit, and then we went to every week, and then we went to every Friday and Saturday, and now we serve over one Friday and Saturday a little over 100 families. That's the absolute maximum we can do in terms of space and energy. You know, we take in as much food as we can, and we give out as much food. Like you see all this here, it'll be gone tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Excellent.
And then we start it all up again. So
Now that it's starting to open up, it's a little more of a break to have the shoppers come in.
to have the shoppers come in, yes, because ask Maria, who's waiting in the wings over there, camera shy. We would get a delivery of 3,000 pounds of food. Think about it, 3,000 pounds of food. She'd have to bring it in because I'd be at work. And I also want to mention Dennis Malice from Malice Auto Body, Jim Petrillo, who lives in Buchanan, Victor, you yourself put in a lot of muscle time here. And then we have a team that packs it, Mike and Melinda from Yorktown. They'd bring in 3,000 pounds of food down 2 sets of stairs. They'd pack it up and then bring it back to have it ready for the trunks. That's a lot of manpower. Sure. It's a lot of manpower. So now it's a little bit better that people can come in, but they shop. We have 2 pantries side by side, and we have people shop as a family. You know, one family here and one family there. And we keep our social distance, and everybody wears a mask. But like Maria said the other day, it's a full-time job. If we're not spreading the word, we're stocking shelves, we're unpacking donations. This community is so unbelievable. The high school community had a fund drive. They gave, I don't know, they gave us a ton of food. And then we got from that high school community $1,500 worth of checks.
Awesome.
So Mount Carmel will say to us, you know, the guys will come in and say, you got mail. This community is tremendously generous. And thank God, because the community is showing up for the community.
You know, that's what I love about this community. They really care about each other. You know, I've always said that if you just almost took people by the hand and said, look, this is all you have to do, people will do it. I'm very optimistic. I think people do want to do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And, you know, this show is based on the people that do that, you know. They don't say, you know, somebody else will do it. You know, you stepped up and you said, if I don't do it, nobody else will. But then, once you did do it, people came on board. Tell us about
thank
how...
God they did.
Yeah.
See, and this is why I have to thank God I spent the last 35 years with WLNA and WHUD. They taught me that there's a whole big world out there, and then they asked me to MC all of these events that taught me, hey, people can just do stuff. I would have never known that. So what I am is fearless. I'll try anything. I got a heartfelt message to open a pantry. I'm going at it hard. I don't care if I fail. Like, you can't embarrass me or upset me. I'll try something else. You know what I mean? So I think the biggest thing with most people is they're fearful. And that's okay. I have a women's group on Facebook, and I just posted today, don't fight with fear and doubt. Put it in your purse, take it with you. So I was terrified for months doing this pantry. I would say it took about 9 or 10 months for me to calm down. I was terrified, but I pushed through anyway. Not everyone's crazy like me, but I have to tell you, we have a group of volunteers here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much from them. You know, we have an amazing team, a team that comes Friday to unload the truck, a team that comes later Friday to bag it up, a team that comes later Friday to make deliveries to people who can't come out, a team that comes to man the pantry. Then we have another team that comes Saturday. And I wish everybody could just be a fly on the wall to hear the interactions they have with the shoppers. Every single time we open a pantry, I'll walk past one of the world's greatest volunteers because they are, they earned this name. Like, they are the world's greatest volunteers. And I'll hear them saying something so kind and loving to a shopper, or doing something that is so above and beyond that it blows me away. Like, I'm a big picture person. I know what kind of shelves we need. I know what kind of tables we need. But these volunteers, they're fearless. Their hearts are so enormous. They take each family that comes in under their wing, walks them through the pantry, and they leave friends. We know the first names. Now with masks, it's a little harder. But we know the first names of most of our shoppers. We do. People are amazing.
It's a problem. Nobody likes to ask for help. And it's tough, but we are here to help. So if you feel like you're struggling and you want a little help and you need a little food, don't be afraid to come down.
No, and the phone rings and I answer it. All the calls go to my phone right here. And I have taken calls from moms who are totally freaked out, saying, my husband lost his job today. I don't know what we're going to do. And we say, we're sorry to hear that, but I got news for you. You are never going to have to worry about food. It's just not going to happen. People show up with tears in their eyes saying, this isn't who I am. This isn't what my life is like. As soon as I get back on my feet, can I come and help? And I'm like, you betcha.
Sure.
We have really expensive cars pulling into our lot.
Yeah, but...
with people who have found themselves in a position they cannot believe they're in. So I just want to say to everybody, if you even need a little bit, come. You're not taking it away from anybody else. We are connected with Feeding Westchester. We are connected with Second Chance Foods. We have a lot of food. So some people think, oh, I don't need it that bad. We want everyone's cupboards to be full. You know that feeling when you come home from the store and you put everything away and you feel good. We want everybody to feel that. Yep. If you are in the Tri-Village area or Cortland area, and even beyond, we want you to feel that feeling of, I got a lot of things to worry about with COVID-19 and my family and the shifting plates of the universe, but I don't have to worry about food, because you don't have to worry about food. Yep. And you know what else we have, Victor? We have a lot of neighbors who come and shop for the people.
That's another thing. That's
maybe aren't comfortable. So I would reach out to those people too and say, come and pack a bag and bring it to your neighbor.
Now, how did you make the connection with Feeding Westchester?
The food pantry community is amazing. When we opened our food pantry, someone from Holy Spirit Church called Feeding Westchester and said, hey, do you know that there's a new pantry in town? And Feeding Westchester gave us time and to get on our feet. And then they reached out and said, would you be interested in a relationship? And we said yes. And then they had to come and inspect to see if we, could handle what they were going to give us.
Yeah.
And we passed inspection, so that's been wonderful. So we can buy food from Feeding Westchester at a very low price. Right now, it needs to be celebrated that most of the food we get from Feeding Westchester, we're not paying for. Wow. Right, Ree? They're giving all the food pantry emergency pallets of food, dry or produce, for free.
Awesome.
And that is, dial it back. So many corporations are donating to Feeding Westchester. Who was it? Jeff Bezos gave $100 million early on in COVID-19 to Feeding America. That directly impacted the people in Verpkanck. When somebody makes a donation to Feeding America, that's the parent company of Feeding Westchester, we directly got food and resources from Feeding Westchester because of that.
There was a little problem with people wanting to volunteer, and because of the COVID, it was tough to let people come in.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yes, when the pandemic broke out, oh my God, I forgot about that. We told all our volunteers to stay home.
Yeah.
2 of them are nurses. One works in a doctor's office, one works in a hospital. We're like, no, stay home.
Yeah.
For the safety of yourselves and our shoppers. And we ran this pantry. I can't believe we did that. We ran this pantry for how many months? 2 months? March and April, end of March, beginning of April. End of March, beginning of April, through a little bit of May, right? Me, Maria, and Amanda and Alyssa Margiotta. I can't believe we did it.
Yeah.
Like, how did we do that? Looking back, I don't know how we did that.
Awesome.
Week after week after week, it was the 4 of us. But it was what we, Amanda and Alyssa Margiotta, your nieces, they're young and they were taking social distancing seriously. Maria and I are not so young, but we were taking social distancing seriously. And we needed all our other volunteers to stay away.
Yeah.
Because if anything happened to one of us, all 4 of us would have to leave, and then you'd have to come in. But, man, I forgot we did that. I'm tired.
You're good.
Yeah, it's been a trip, man.
So
It
now
has
that
been a trip.
it's getting a little better, if people do want to volunteer, how would they be able to do that?
I don't want them. I don't want them.
Okay.
I really, I don't want any volunteers until this pandemic's over.
Okay.
We have the world's
the
greatest
core,
volunteers,
yeah.
and they are giving their hearts, and I want to let them. I want to let them. We had a volunteer today show up 11:30 this morning with a trunk load. She went out with our money and purchased $225 worth of food. And she says when she left, after she put it all on the shelves, I'll see you in the morning at 7:30. I'm good. We may need volunteers one day in the future,
Yes.
but right now we got this core,
Okay.
and I'm keeping them. And I'm going to let them, they love better than anybody I've ever seen in my life love. I'm going to let them love. Because it broke their hearts to have to stay away for 2 months. It broke their hearts.
Now, what about donations? How can
Oh
people-
my God, gimme.
Yeah.
We will accept donations when we know where it's coming from. You know what I mean? Like if you show up and you've got groceries in your car, and great, on Fridays at 11:30, there's a table outside. Pull up, we'll give it an eyeball. You can put the groceries on the table. We let them sit for a while out in the sunshine, then we bring them in. So you can donate that way.
Yep.
Or you can send a check in the mail. Or we just got $500 worth of Target gift cards from a woman who gets the gift cards when from her credit card. Like you earn Target cards. She and her husband saved up all their Target points, and they sent us $500 worth of Target cards.
Excellent.
So Maria went shopping with that. So she only used half of it. So it's this little puzzle that we're always putting together between food donations and cash donations. And whenever anybody in the community has a drive for us, like the high school community did,
There you go.
I think that was the Future Business Leaders of America that had a lot to do with that. It's great. That's great.
Okay, so now you came up with another idea. You're having a farmer's market.
All right.
Here
I
in...
think you had something to do with that. We walked out of the building, what, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And there was all this produce that Feeding Westchester and Second Chance Foods had delivered. And I'm like, Maria, what do you want to do with that? She says, maybe we'll just put it on a table outside and let the shoppers choose like a farmer's market. Well, I looked at this big open field behind us, and I thought maybe we should just have a farmer's market. There's no baseball because of the pandemic. So Mount Carmel Society was having a meeting in a couple of days. Maria said, I'm going to go to the meeting, I'll ask. She asked, they said yes. So we're going to start a farmer's market. I don't know.
Do you have people coming and have
We have
tables?
Picklelicious.
Okay.
It's coming with pickles. My Thumb is Green is a vendor from Buchanan. She has herbs and her name is Becky. She has herbs and eggs. We have Aunt Liana's Kitchen. She has jams.
Right.
So it'll be things like that. And we've partnered with Adams Fairacre Farm. Now, you guys down here might not know Adams Fairacre Farm, but I live up in Cold Spring, and it's a family store, and they own 4 stores, and it is the most wonderful produce. So I met with Mr. Davies, the produce manager, and we're going to purchase from him. So he's our anchor. And this week, we're getting rainbow carrots and rhubarb and garlic scapes. And so we're going to go up to Adams every Saturday and pick up a big haul of fresh produce. And it's open to any other farmer or maker
Okay,
who wants to
so
join
if you're
us.
out there and you want to...
Yeah.
What do you have, a website? How do we get a hold of you?
How do you get a hold of me for the farmer's market? There's so many me's these days, I'm not sure. Okay, gatheringlove.org. That's it, gatheringlove.org. Because here's another thing that launched in March. Oh, somebody should just drop a net over my head or something before I
you're
have
really
another
spreading
idea.
yourself a little thin now.
Not thin, not with this COVID-19 pounds I got on me. I started in March a not-for-profit called Let It Shine, Inc. I think we might have mentioned that,
Yes.
that it was coming. Now we got nonprofit status. We launched in March, and the proceeds from the farmers market will benefit, if there are any, you know.
We'll see.
We'll see. But first of all, it supports community.
Yes,
So
that's
it's not,
key.
it's $40 for a space. Because it's not about making money, it's about all boats rise. So I am renting from Mount Carmel, just a small amount, but it is a rental organization, rental situation. So if we make money from the farmer's market, that will go to Let It Shine, Inc., and that goes back into the community. Mother's Day, we had Drive-Through Mother's Day. That was Let It Shine, Inc. that did that.
Okay. And that went well.
Yeah, it was great. We had 92 moms drive through and get a gift bag.
Beautiful.
And all purchased or donated, but most, Let It Shine, Inc. was behind that.
You know, I've been working with my family basically my whole life. And how is it working with your sister?
Well, Maria Morabito is just a very unusual creature. It couldn't be easier. You know why? Because she puts up with me. And that's the truth. She puts up with me. Maria lives across the street from the pantry. So she gets all the emergency calls. And when the pandemic hit and we started getting 3,000 pounds of food delivered, I was at work, So she had to take care of it. And she took care of it.
So,
She took care of it.
thank you, Maria,
Thank
for
you,
all
Maria.
the wonderful work you
She's
did.
amazing. She's amazing. But you know what? Like, we've been working together. We've always been doing something. Years ago we did children's theater together. We've done a million things together. We're always doing something. And I said to her the other day, can you believe, you and I are in charge of a food pantry? She's like, oh, we're always doing something.
Yeah.
It's true, we're always doing something.
So, because we're at the Mount Carmel Society and the fiesta is almost 100 years old,
Yeah.
they're probably going to have to do some kind of arrangement this year.
Modify. I don't
Yeah.
know what. I don't
Yeah.
know what. You know what? Like everybody else, during these days, you have to wait and see. Wait and see what happens in New York State. But if I know Junior, we call him, Anthony Capicotti Jr. If I know Anthony Capicotti Jr., you know, this feast, he's the feast chairman for I don't know how many years, many years. Before that, it was his uncle. Before that, it was his father. Before that, it was his grandfather. When we talk about tradition, this man will make sure something happens so this lady gets her time on the street. Now, it may be drive-through sausage and peppers. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's his decision,
Yeah.
but he knows, and Mount Carmel Society knows, they have, you know, just such a dedicated group of men and women that there is an army behind Anthony Capicotti Jr. and what he can do, he will do, and we will be right there supporting him, marching right behind him.
Thank you so much for coming on.
We're done?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this, you know, this is all about stepping up and helping people, you know. This has been going on forever, that people need to treat people the way they want to be treated. I think that's so important. And it's a message that's 2,000 years old and is still true today. And, you know, the best way you could be a good person is just to treat people the way you want to be treated. So thanks for watching.